And we're going to get started with how to build a massive list of premium buyers in your niche and become the undisputed center of influence. And Mitch Carson is going to be presenting for us. Before you get started, I would love to introduce you to him. So I'm going to share with you about his background. Mitch Carson is an experienced speaker and seminar promoter. He has been on speaking platforms throughout the U.S., Canada, Australia, the United Arab Emirates, England, Bahrain, Pakistan, Colombia, and New Zealand. And he shared the platform with Jim Rohn, bless him, Dan Kennedy, Mark Victor Hansen, Donald Trump, Sir Richard Branson, Zig Ziglar, Joe Polish, Alex Mendoza, Yannick Silver, and the list goes on. He is directly responsible for placing over 1 million buying units in conference halls in multiple niches and categories. He turned unprofitable categories and seminar companies into cash-positive operations through solid marketing, utilizing multiple media sources. Mitch produced several short film infomercials that have aired on Home Shopping Network, QVC, and international markets, grossing in excess of 8 figures in sales over the airways and retail channels. Mitch was a columnist in several marketing newsletters and headed for his unique approach to getting noticed and monetizing this exposure. Some of the publications where Mitch has been featured are the Sydney Morning Herald, Los Angeles Times, Roll Call, Entrepreneur Press, and the Wall Street Journal. His background includes hosting a radio show on 97.1 CBS Radio in Los Angeles for over a year, and he also wrote The Silent Salesman, which is published by John Wiley & Sons in 2009. So it's really a pleasure and an honor to introduce you to Mitch, who, by the way, has a great sense of humor. So for your entertainment and pleasure and learning experience, Mitch Carson.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. I was wondering all the background. I don't know if that made me experienced or old, but it's.
I'm not sure, Mitch. How do you feel?
Yeah, well, I feel great. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And one of the questions I want to ask the listeners that are here is, have you ever wondered what it would feel like to have an endless supply of leads? And, you know, as a corollary to that, having clients that want to be part of your club. And, you know, that's the whole focus of today's webinar, is to have them visualize a strong flow of quality clients. Premium buyers is what we're referring to. And I want to have that implanted in your mindset before we begin. Is that fair enough to ask?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, so this is where I just want them to open up. I mean, these are coaches. These are sensitive people that are out there to help people, and allow me to show you what I have been able to create and what others have created following what we're going to show you this morning or this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are in the world. I know you have a worldwide audience, so
absolutely.
I'm just going to get started. So what's today's agenda and promise? We're going to show you 3 winning case studies, discover how to find the money in your niche, and there is money in your niche. And I'm going to reveal that and show you the proof in a little bit. We're going to promise to show you 3 money-making magnets. How do you attract money in your category? And how to follow the proven success plan. I mean, what I did, what others have done, and I'm a color by numbers person. I've got to be shown something black and white, ABC, 1, 2, 3. That's how I learn and follow. And how to get anyone to take your call. This is a little bit of a secret that is going to blow your minds, and yet it's so simple. And I think I shared this with you previously, and the reaction was a bit of a chuckle out of you, and I know you probably scratched your hair, although I couldn't see you. So what is my incentive? I have a gift for you. If you stay on this call for its entirety, I'm going to give you my yet-to-be-published new book called Clients Forever. This applies to any good, solid business that is out there. Whether you're a coach, wannabe coach, it's a strong way to grab clients and keep them in your clutches, in your universe forever. And that's what I'm going to share with you. Is that fair enough? So why should you listen to me? Well, you went through my bio and explained, I've been a published author, and there are these different success stories that I've had, but I like to live within the world of proof. Everything I do in marketing is all proof-based. So again, I like to show the proof. Right here on the left, this is where I was in Karachi, Pakistan, being interviewed by CNBC television back in November. So that was fairly recent. The picture on the right is me on my radio show. I'm the man on the left. I look more like the man on the right today, but the man on the left was me on 97.1, which is CBS Radio in Los Angeles. That was a few years back. And then this is a copy of my book that I published, The Silent Salesman, with John Wiley and Sons. And this is a picture of a live showing on Home Shopping Network where I worked for a bit, showcasing different unique products. This was back in 1996. So I've had a broad experience base in media. So let me go through what we're experiencing in this changing world. Is this sounding good so far? Making sense for everybody? The way people consume information has changed quite a bit. Getting trusted followers, clients, and customers is more challenging than it used to be. Radio, print, newspapers, print magazines are disappearing rapidly. I mean, we've been reading about that, we hear about it, and it's just the nature of the environment today. It's all different. Television is extremely expensive, and commercials you can pass it very quickly and easily with TiVo. So let's go through what's possible today. How to get almost anyone's attention and getting it rapidly. I mean, faster than you've ever imagined. And I'm going to show it to you and prove it to you in this presentation this morning, this afternoon, evening. And how to become treated like a welcome guest versus an annoying pest. This is a little rhyme, but all of us can relate to this. So people want to do business with you, and you're going to find out how to take people where they want to go and where you want to go, and they're going to want to come along with you. And how media attention finds you, and I'm going to show you how it has worked for me and has worked for others. And how would you like to build an international reputation with today's world of the internet? And we're global today, and an international reputation is earnable. You can achieve that. I mean, Barbara, you're all over. You just showed that you had people calling in from Canada, and you rate an endless leads and no compliance. Yeah, I mean, you have Canada. You probably have other people from around the world, the English-speaking world, who are listening in or will listen to the rebroadcast.
Absolutely.
And it's just an international world today.
It is.
How to create an endless leads and no-hassle clients who don't refund. Isn't that attractive? You don't have to deal with some of these administrative hassles. That sounds good to me. How about you? Is this making sense so far, Barbara? So what did these two gentlemen know?
Yes, it absolutely is making sense.
Yeah, I mean, these two gentlemen, we've got Steve Jobs on the left and Bill Gates on the right. They're, as much as they are businessmen, what I think most of us appreciate about these two gentlemen is they forecast and see the future. They really do. Very, very well. I don't know if anybody would argue it. They are technology individuals. One is extremely charismatic, or was extremely charismatic, which is Steve Jobs. But they were equally visionary individuals. You don't need to have this is sort of a joke here where we've got the man in the astronaut suit. The future is coming. It's coming every day, and it's coming faster than ever before. So we've got a little bit of a picture here. It's a funny cartoon of Steve Jobs on the right with Moses telling him, the tablet is going to take off. He's listening to the man that has got all the answers. Did he speak to Moses? I don't think so, but it certainly illustrates the point pretty well. And all the elements that have followed. So let's look at the statistics. Time, Hearst, Condé Nast, Reader's Digest, they're all going digital. They have their print publications, but they're growing the digital side of things using adapting to the marketplace, because people are consuming information in a different way than they used to. I don't know about you. I haven't bought a magazine in some time, so I read, my newspapers, everything online on my Galaxy. Okay, here's a picture of Steve Jobs announcing the iPad in 2010. Do you think he knew what was going to happen today? And I want to share what happened. It was an overnight success story, and this was something personal. When I got involved in this project, we've got an outstanding system designed by Susie Black. You're going to meet in a little bit. And I said, wow, it's interesting. She said, well, what's your passion? What is it that you enjoy? And I said, well, business is one thing, marketing. My love, exotic wild animals. So this was a magazine that I created on iTunes with the assistance of Susie to help advise me, called Animal Sanctuary Magazine. And this, as you can see, this graphic grips you. It's right there in your face, and it's stunning. I think you said that as well, didn't you, Barbara, when you saw this? Like, whoa, that's what it takes to grab somebody's attention.
It's beautiful, yes. It's captivating is a great word.
Yeah, I mean, it just pulls you right in. So here's what happened. My first 3 days on iTunes, you can see I had the bars on the right. I just had huge downloads and subscribers to this magazine. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. And this is the proof, is all that matters. Again, everything I do in marketing is related to proof. I like to live in the world of proof. And I thought, wow, look at these numbers. I mean, you got to get in on this. When you look at this, in between March 29th and April 14th, which is just a tad over 2 weeks, I had almost 11,000 downloads. Is that impressive, or is that impressive?
That's screaming impressive.
There's only one answer. It's impressive. I mean,
yeah, it's very impressive.
So here we fast forwarded since we first started this. So in just 7 weeks, we grew up to 17,000. This is just on iTunes. I'm not even showing the numbers for Google Play, which is another competing library for magazines and downloadable products or systems. So right here, after 7 weeks, had 17,000. Now, we did something yesterday to give you the glimpse. So again, it's all about the proof, showing you in real time where we are. Look at this after 11 weeks. 23,610. This was done yesterday so we could be current and show you the real statistics now. Is this blowing away? I mean, I have 23,000 subscribers to this magazine. And here is the other area of proof. And inside the iTunes store, we can show where everything gets ranked. In the Animal Sanctuary magazine, it was ranked #1 in new. Under the What's Hot category, it's in that category. They don't rank them 1 through 10, but they put the top magazines in there. It was there. All free iPhone apps, it is #1. And under free apps, it is #1. So I've been very fortunate and blessed, all because I followed the system Susie laid out for me. So I have to ask, what is your plan? Would you like to get recognized immediately? And doing this, I mean, is this making sense so far? Are you
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, just blowing. So, are you the center of influence in your category? When we had a call earlier, Barbara, you shared all the different micro niches, or niches, if you will, in the coaching category. We're going to show a success story of that in a little bit. But I'd like all the people to ask, are you the center of influence in your category? And what is it that you specialize in? We talked about ADD. I mean, a couple of the different categories of coaches you talked about. Didn't you say you had over 50 that you had identified?
Yes, there's over 50 different coaching niches that our coaches coach in. One of them is laughter coaching. It's amazing, right?
Laughter. Yeah, I mean, there's humor in it, and you've got a good sense of humor.
Right.
And, I just have to also ask your people, how many of you deserve to be the number one in your niche if you are, in fact, a specialist or passionate about your niche? You have to find what makes you dance, people sharing their passions. And you're going to have a better response in anything you do if you're passionate about it. Most would agree with this. And your customers are, are a vibrant community. People are passionate about certain topics, so they demonstrate accordingly. Even if you're in the area of something ethnic, it's religious, or it's political, people read this, they consume it, they get passion behind it. And I would just ask you to plant your flag, stand for something, stand out. This is a World War II victory for America, and Iwo Jima. But use something in your marketing to differentiate yourself. We've heard this term; it works. And the beauty of today's environment, as we shared, is the new technologies have given people to tune out message and marketing and laser focus on what's relevant to them, because we are overwhelmed. I'm going to date myself a little bit, Barbara. When I was growing up, television had, in Los Angeles, where I'm from, television had, I think, about 4 channels. And you turned the black and white TV set by hand. There was none of this remote stuff. So, you had a limited amount of commercials that hit you. Well, today, how many cable channels are there? Hundreds, aren't there? As well as network. And today, we have the ability to focus in on exactly what we want, because we can't take it all in. And, having your own publication provides that opportunity. So, return on investment. I want to talk about the math a little bit of, how you should look at any business venture. Any way you spend your money and invest, is there a return on investment? I know when you are in business, you're a very astute businesswoman, Barbara. You look at, okay, if I spend $100, am I going to get $300 in return? Well, that's a little more than $100 there if it's wrapped up like that. So let's call that about $80,000. So you're looking at $240,000 of return if you invest that kind of money. Most people who look at it from a business perspective, have their business hat on, would look at it that way, and I would suggest you do that too. So here's the equation, ROI, how do you make money from this? We're going to show you. What is the value of being the #1 authority in your market? I want everybody to put that in their mind. If you were the toll booth operator, you were the puppeteer, the top dog, the person that people looked up to for information in your category, albeit laughter coaching, business coaching, coaching for dog owners, coaching for ADD people, whatever. Like you said, you've identified over 50 niches that were viable and achievable. So, what is the value associated with being the #1 person in your niche, your category? And you got to listen to the marketplace. What is it that they're asking for? Not just what you think they want. What is it they're asking for and willing to pay money for? We're going to show you how to identify that. And you have to ask, can you do this? So why was I successful with the launch of Animal Sanctuary Magazine? Because, again, like I said, I like to live in the world of proof. This is me in Thailand at a tiger sanctuary. And yes, that's a 600-pound male tiger in the water relieving himself. And I'm within feet of him. Now, you don't see the camera on the other side and the trainer that would have rescued me if he decided I was dinner. But I have had a passion for wild animals, and I travel whenever possible to these sanctuaries and take pictures, interact with large and sometimes crazy exotic animals that you just don't see in pet shops. It's just my passion, and I've been able to now monetize this and put it into print. So what were the exact steps? 1, 2, 3. We're going to walk you through. I used the right keywords. This is so critical. In any business that you launch online, offline, you use the right keywords. What is it that people are looking for? Not just looking for, what are they buying? And we're going to get into showing you more about that in a second. So Animal Sanctuary Magazine is now ranked #1 for that keyword phrase on Google. This is a Google screenshot that I took, and it's largely because I did some keyword research, and iTunes, which is a high-ranking site, has it listed there. So when you punch in Animal Sanctuary Magazine, I'm not only #1 for iTunes, I've got the website that I created around. It's also the Facebook fan page. It all ranks very well. And why did I choose that? Because I did some research. I used the simple AdWords tool on Google that Google gives you for free, and I looked at the total, what was the level of competition for that keyword phrase and how many monthly searches. And I made a decision. So that, okay, that passed level 1 screen. And then I decided, okay, can I make money with this? One, it's my passion, so it passed the screen. Okay, that was the first date. Now, do I want to go out again with that experience? Do I want to then go and pursue it deeper? So the second step, I used a program called SE Cockpit, which was outstanding, and it revealed the commercial viability of those long-tail keyword phrases that were associated with it. And I found that, for example, one on animal cruelty, for $1.29 per click, I can place ads inside this magazine and make money. So this was a green light to proceed. Are you following this so far? I mean, is this all making sense, Barbara? You think everybody's getting this, or
yeah? I think it's good to point out that we looked up the keywords to see how the value of the keyword, and you can tell when there's that people are paying $1.29 for a click. That's a message that there's a market.
There's a market. I mean, and I want some of the people to entertain the idea. I mean, can you see how this will be a financial solution for you if you exercise your passion and you find something that's commercially viable? This is all about making money with what you love. Make money with what you love. So what goal did I find for coaches? Here's a little graphic of a happy lady. She looks like she is in Cambodia, and she's mining for gold. So you mentioned this on a previous call about ADD, and it just stuck in my mind because I was diagnosed with it as a kid. So that's one of the 50 you mentioned that stuck in my head. It's like, oh, maybe I should have had that as a kid. It's long before people knew what it was. It was just medicate him. He's too hyper. But they're life coaches for ADD, so I punched in that keyword phrase after you shared that with me. And I realized, okay, there are a lot of searches for this, 319 million related keywords, related searches to those words, life coaches for ADD. So it's a big category, so there's volume there. Then next I wanted to see if there was money. And what I discovered blew my mind. This is a gold mine for somebody that jumps into the ADD coaching area, because I looked at, okay, About ADD has 210 monthly searches, but here's what's interesting. The cost per click far exceeds anything related to Animal Sanctuary, which I launched and am profiting with, but the cost per click is $4.74. That's 4.5 times the value of cost per click from what I had revealed on the magazine. So there are riches in niches. Here's the proof. ADD Symptoms has $5.18 cost per click. I mean, Barbara, you're very experienced at buying traffic. You know about some of these things.
Yes.
And is this amazing? I mean, if you had more time, I'm sure you would start your own area just in ADD, because there's money. There's gold in them hills.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and I want to, Roland, think of the advertising potential. And we're going to show you what has been done with small markets, what has been done with Animal Sanctuary Magazine. Once I got over the 20,000 mark of subscribers to the magazine, which is still very new. It's less than 3 months old, as I showed in the piece. We've had 2 editions, the 3rd is about to come out. It has created a firestorm of interest from advertisers. And think of this digitally, which is so huge, at $3,000 per page monthly. That's a lot of money. And you can add as many pages as you want because it's digital. There are no print costs. Is that beautiful?
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of what we're in. And you know, the other thing I want to touch on with an online publication, with a magazine that before it was all print, strictly one way of consuming information. You had to read it. You had to view it. Today, with the proliferation of video, you can add in your favorite YouTube video that you've created or pirate from others or strike a deal from others that may have a talent with video, and you insert it in your magazine, so you now have a multimedia magazine, a multimedia method to be the #1 person in your niche, the resource, the authority. And is that fantastic?
It is.
And you can insert a podcast. If you're camera shy, that's fine. If you have a voice, because you wouldn't be a coach otherwise, you've got a passion, you just record it, you stick it in, and it's a podcast, and that goes up on iTunes as well, so people can listen to your magazine driving down the road. How can you listen to a magazine in print? Pretty tough. So the accessibility, the readability, the consumption of your information, your authority, your #1 position in your market is now available while people are driving. They don't even have to read it. They can consume what you have to share while they're driving. You know, I don't drive much where I live, but when I lived in California, that's where a lot of people consume information. They get bored with the radio and they want to listen to money-making, learning content, something that they're passionate about. Think of it that way. So I'm going to go low and show you how you can make money here at $2,000 per page. I'm getting bids because I had a very good success story with a moderate amount of pay-per-click of, let's say, over $1 per click. So when potential advertisers look at that, they want to look at how many exposures. They know their numbers. And in the case of an ADD coaching, you could charge way more than $2,000 a page. But I'm going to be very conservative with showing you how to do this. So this is how you would monetize your magazine. And you have unlimited pages potential. You've got to have content weaved in there or people will get bored just looking at advertising. But if you could have 3 pages of content, a couple pages of advertising, that is acceptable. We're all used to that. We're trained because there's an understanding you have to make money somewhere. Well, this is where you can monetize big. And you have these partnerships with affiliates out there, people that share related products that aren't in competition with you that people want to buy. And that's why there's such a high cost per click. Because, Barbara, what would come to mind with you with an ADD coach? I know I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit. Didn't ask you this before the webinar, but you're going to have the answer because you're the expert. What would somebody put, if someone were to start an ADD magazine, for example, the coaches that are on the call, what kind of advertisers would potentially buy space on that magazine, inside that magazine?
Well, if you let them, pharmaceutical companies would.
Bingo! And how deep are their pockets?
Very
Endless.
deep.
Very deep.
Very
miles deep, kilometers deep, depending on where you're from, what your reference point is. Big dollars. Big dollars. So if they are looking for venues, so it's a whole lot better than my magazine, and I've got people willing to pay me $3,000 a page for advertising. So if you have this niche, this micro, very selective niche, the sky is the limit. You'll have advertisers. All you have to do is look where others are advertising, and then the money starts to stack up. So you not only are you the authority, you get all the exposure, the recognition, you make money with this. Is this sounding good? So let me show you a recent magazine that is coming out with a friend of ours named Alex Mendozian. And Susie created this cover for him. He is a very well-known marketer, has a following of about 1.5 million people. He didn't want to come out with Millionaire Mentor because that's almost an overused phrase today. There's so many millionaires. What many are aspiring to achieve are billionaires. He eagerly wanted to create a magazine, so he saw the opportunity. He's got a following. He's got a passion. His whole piece is he's created already over 100 millionaires following his coaching system, and he now is aspiring to create the mindset to make it available in their conscious mind and subconscious to become billionaires. Is that a great paradigm shift? And this is the cover of his first magazine that's coming out in July on iTunes. And you see it's a gripping graphic. It's a handsome young guy that is on his way to becoming the next Mark Zuckerberg. And you know, it meets all the criteria that we're going to go through about grabbing the attention. Here's another one that was created and has been successfully monetizing right here. Lifestyle Entrepreneur coming, you know, this is the July issue cover coming out. And it's got, you know, a beautiful lady, and you have the right colors. There's a system to laying this out so it grips the attention of people. I mean, think about the image I used for Animal Sanctuary magazine, the first issue with that tiger. It grips you. This lady grips your eyesight. You're grabbed and gravitating towards her. Here's another one of our clients who owns JV Zoo, which you're familiar with. They are the big affiliate marketing company, and it's about their niche, working from home, addressing the desire for many stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, people that are in love with the virtual lifestyle to be able to live where they want and work from home as opposed to having to go into an office every day. And this is his magazine niched to people working from home. You know, you can almost pretty much disband the suit, but it grabs your attention. And it goes through all the elements to be successful from working from home. So that is his niche of Brian Zimmerman. Here's an example for you. You know, how to find an insider's guide when you go to Las Vegas. People go there all the time. How many times have you been to Vegas, Barbara? I mean, it's just something we do when we're in California. It's a vacation spot. Right. It's a meeting spot.
It's a great business meeting spot. So yes, wow, is that a nice?
Yeah, I've spoken at well over 100 seminars there. I mean, I look at it as I don't gamble,
no,
thankfully, but I certainly will go there to speak at conferences and enjoy the shows. This particular magazine identifies that, and there are all sorts of advertisers that are willing to spend and monetize, and this magazine monetizes well because it addresses a concern. It addresses what people are looking for, and it's the insider's guide. And this is another sub niche, finding a wholesaler. Who would have thought about this? Who would have ever thought about ADD coaching, much less finding a wholesaler? This is again specific to that category. For someone that is looking for this, the keywords are identifiable and monetizable, or it wouldn't have gotten to this stage. This is where people are willing to spend money and look at this because they've identified a niche. So the third element that I wanted to go through is you have to select an eye-catching image on iTunes. So people look at it when they go to the category of interest to them, if it's business, if it's coaching, if it's psychology, if it is pets. That's why I had such success, because I had an eye-catching image, which was number one in there. Here it is again without all the text. It grabs you. Think about that in any of your marketing. When you decide to become the authority in marketing, you use strong images. Very important. People are drawn visually. That's why Pinterest has taken off so well. As another example, it's all image-based. Are you a Pinterest user, Barbara? Yeah. because it's an
I
image-based.
am. I have I do. Yes, I do have a Pinterest
Yeah,
account.
and it all ties back to images. It's very strong. It's the first level. You know, when you meet somebody new, it's about how they look. We make that judgment very quickly how they appeal visually to us. It's no different when you're looking at investing your time into consuming information. Strong images are important. So I want to give you a couple examples of some great images versus not so great. You know, colors, I mean, you get lost with the image on the right, and the other is very specific. It's right there focused in. What catches your eye? I mean, they're kind of, you know, snakes make some people quiver, but you're going to look at it. The one on the left identifies specifically the snake. The one on the right, you can kind of get lost. And the perfect cover story, this is Times Square on the left. Look at that shot. It gives you the perfect shot of advertising going up Fifth Avenue, or 7th Avenue, excuse me. I should know, I used to live in New York. 7th Avenue right here in Times Square. Give me that perfect vertical shot, which is the way people consume or are used to having their magazines read. And a little bit of color. This makes a difference. Is this making sense so far? Everybody following this? I mean, you can use this in all your marketing. Yeah. All right, now I want to show you how small markets equal big profits. This is what one of the magazines that Susie launched personally. And small markets equal big profits. And what happened with her magazine here, it's a free publication, but she was able to monetize this. Okay, in a short period of time, she had 342 downloads. You may think, all right, well, between March 20th and March 26th, we just used this as a snapshot to show you that there's money in small markets, very good money. You think, okay, here's the proof. This is from her PayPal account. She had 4 advertisers that jumped on just for month 1 at $4.95 each a pop. That comes out to $1,980 per month. And they're advertising and continue to advertise in that magazine. I don't know about you, but for a small amount of work, and I think she invests 2 to 3 days a month on this magazine to make an extra $2,000, that works for me. How about you? And doing something that you're passionate about. So I have to ask, like, what's your move? Is your thinking right side up? What's your strategy? Do you have a clear path? Let's talk about the exact steps that have been used to make this happen. And, you know, I invite you to look at, do what Steve says, innovate, be the first, watch others, or are you the one that is taking this action? Are you playing it safe? I like to show the outrageous. This, again, was me in Thailand at a crocodile sanctuary, and I'm just inches away. Yes, that crocodile is real. There are a bunch of crocs behind him, and the trainer, you can see his foot right next to mine, is about ready to smack him on the nose if he gets hungry, but fortunately he was well fed. So are you playing it safe in your business? Are you taking risks? I invite you to open your horizons and take risks. Move forward. So one of my earlier promises, how do you guarantee a call with anyone? Anyone. Well, we've got a showing of the former president of South Africa with Nelson Mandela, also a former president. Now, could you get a call with them? You would certainly get the attention of their assistants if they weren't there, but most people will take your call if you use the following statement. Are you ready? You know what this is? I want to put you on the cover of my magazine. How huge is that?
That's big. That's big.
That is huge. I mean, there's Oprah, and if you called her office, and you know, as long as you had an ethical magazine and she was in support and passionate about your topic, and if you said to her, I want to put you on the cover of my magazine, I guarantee you she would listen to the offer. Can I guarantee that she'd be on it? No, but most people would be willing. So here's a tip that I found. Use formerly famous. Donald Trump is still very well known in the United States. Why wouldn't he want to be on the cover of your magazine. He loves the spotlight. We've got former presidents. Do you think they have egos at all? Bill Clinton? You know, as long as it's in support. I mean, I spoke at a I didn't get to meet him, but he spoke at a conference I was also a speaker at in London. He had a huge security force around him, but the man loves attention. He was smiling ear to ear. He still thinks he's president. We've got Dirty Harry. We've got Michael Jordan. They both are sort of sunsetting in their careers, but if they believe in your story, you can contact them and just ask, hey, would you like to be on the cover of my magazine? It's about this and this and this, and it helps people, and any extra proceeds will go to XYZ charity and support it. Why wouldn't they do this? Is this a great opportunity for people on the cover of a magazine? I'll put you on the cover of my magazine. People have an ego. So the next question is, how do I create content? You know, some people are great writers and it's not an issue, but there is an easy solution, even for people that are non-technical. You know, here I am at a monkey sanctuary in Ubud, Bali, Indonesia, you know, and I thought, okay, how do I get the monkey off my back about this? Because I like to write, but do I want to write content every month for my magazine? So I solicited the contributions of others, and then I filled in, you know, other ways. But, you know, you become the publisher. That's the answer. You don't have to write all this content. You are the leader. You become the publisher. And how do you get an easy cover story? Mark Victor Hansen, who's the tall man in the blue on the left, is the co-author of the hugely successful brand of books called Chicken Soup for the Soul. He started out as a coach, as you know, Barbara, and still likes to coach people and teach. And he's down in your neck of the woods. He's right there in Costa Mesa.
Oh, nice.
Mark is. Yeah, and he loves exposure. I can say this personally, and he would grin ear to ear, and if he got a call from one of your coaches, decided to put together a magazine and said, you know, Mark, I'd like to put you on the cover, he couldn't be in front of the photograph faster. Guaranteed. If he can sit there and be in front. He loves exposure. And he's with the, you know, the late Art Linkletter there in that piece. Here are other people that are right there, local to you. We've got Brian Tracy, who lives down at San Diego, and Jack Canfield, who's the other co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. These folks are sort of in the latter stage of their careers, but they're still involved, and they'd be easy cover stories. Are these great icons to add? They're all coaches. They're all coaches. So I've identified easy targets for your group, your people on the call. These are people that I know personally, and all of them would be willing to be on the cover of the magazine, as long as it's ethical, honest, and morally acceptable on their standards. I mean, I'm not even going to bring up categories that wouldn't work. Let's just call it gambling or pornography. Let's rule those out, but let's stay with the positive. Everything, you know, that your folks follow, which I know are ethical coaching standards, these folks would at least be on the cover, if not contribute content, and would love to be taking a column in the magazine because it's guaranteed exposure for them, and it would cost you nothing. How do you get additional free content? My first issue, here's my little secret, I didn't have contributors, and since I've had such success, all of my content now is from contributors, experts in my category that love the exposure because I've had such success on iTunes. But my first issue, I only wrote 3 of the 10 articles. The rest came from e-zine articles, and I paid credit to the authors inside. Very simple. You're familiar with e-zine articles, aren't you? e-zinearticles.com.
Oh, yeah. E-zine articles, and there's a lot of them. There's Go articles, e-zine articles, and there's a lot of magazines out there, yeah.
Yeah, but my first issue, to get it launched, it took away the stress. This is what Susie's solution was for me. Use e-zine articles. And we'll fill in the gaps, and then you'll see, just trust me on this, you'll find people that will want to come forward once they see the issue. They want to give you their content. People are ego-based, passion-based, want to get their content consumed by others if you've got the vehicle. If you've got the vehicle. I mean, this goes back to when I was in high school, one guy had a car. and would take us all to class in the morning. He turned 16 first, so he had a car. Now, he was very smart. His gas he had to come out of pocket for, but if he had 4 people in the car, we all split the gas back then. So he was just the publisher. He was the operator, and we covered his gas, but we got the benefit of getting transported to school. And if you want to get your message taken to market, and you've got a publication, try to get your content in Huffington Post. Good luck, right? Pretty tough to get something published there. I don't know if you have, but some have. You've got to be on the cutting edge to be in a big magazine like that. You jump on and have contributors when you start out, and they're going to help write the content for you. Easing Articles is a great way. You can find people that are passionate about your category in there and would probably write for you every month. And as long as you give them credit, they're going to benefit, and you have that big piece taken care of. So it's that simple, and that's what I did to launch my first issue. So do you want this result? I have to ask you. Do you want to have the authority in your niche like an Oprah? I mean, she's a worldwide phenomenon, but you get the picture. So you got to get in on this. I mean, this is right there. We're at the forefront of publishing and consuming information in a new and ever-growing way. iPad sales, just so people understand this, are growing at over 40% per quarter. PCs are not the way that people are consuming information like they used to. They're looking at it on their iPads,
yeah, right.
Their iPhones, their Android devices, and that's the way it is. So jump on it. So this is a result I had, and it's amazing and duplicatable for you. You know, I mean, these are the results that I had, you know, that Susie had with her. So I have to ask you, are you in front of the wave? Are you riding this with the beauty and you're the first? Or are you the one that's just shooting pictures and watching others as everyone else is successful, and you think, well, I should have jumped in on that. God, I wish I would have bought Microsoft stock in 1985 or whenever it was that it launched. You know, in 1990, if I'd have bought it, I'd been a millionaire. Well, again, are you on front of the wave, or are you just shooting pictures and watching this go by? So it's really as simple as 1, 2, 3, ABC. I followed Susie's system. Magazine title, popular search phrase. Okay, that was step 1, to see if there was volume of interest, much like we did with ADD coaching. Same thing. Verify a commercial value in your marketplace. Is this something that people are willing to pay money for? We showed you case studies for that. Do you think someone's going to jump on this ADD coaching today after the call? Do you have action takers, people that take action, see opportunities, see investment ways, monetizable ways to make money in their niche, and are going to jump on this, Barbara? You know, and third step is select amazing images. You grab their attention. And it requires some flexible thinking. It's not, you know, some of us grew up on the print publication idea. Well, that's passé. I don't know what they're going to be offering in 5 years now. If you know, maybe if we asked the Rocket Man, he'd tell us. So I like to work within this little easy, profitable, and fun. That's how I live my life today. I try to go the easiest way. I do go the easiest way. I don't try. I work the easiest way that's profitable, and I, out of choice, choose to have fun about what I do and with whom I do business. So let me show you what's available to your group. So we have the Magazine Academy training program for those that want to jump on and want to get in on this and be at the front of the wave. So we have an A to Z magazine publishing training program. So it walks you through virtually everything you need to know. And I followed this system to create the success I had. The system was followed by others. Alex Mendozian, with his Billionaire magazine, has followed this system. That's why he's going to be successful with it. Section 1 has how to create your magazine, and there are 20 steps a step-by-step video training module that goes through exactly what you need to do. And we tested this system on several people in the Philippines and Pakistan and the US, Canada, Australia, to make sure all these different cultures understood it before it became finalized. And we have then the training modules on video training again, level 2, level 3, on 11 steps on video training. So each module, each section has a more in-depth training for your category. And you have access to the simple publishing system. Easy to use magazine templates. So you don't have to think for yourself. It's all there. It's plug and play, 1, 2, 3, easy to follow. Anyone can be successful if you follow the steps we took. And a step-by-step worksheet, you tick the box. As I shared earlier, when I took on this project, I said, I've got to have a step-by-step worksheet. I'm one of these that lays out all of it, color by numbers, tick the box, and do it. And then it'll fall into place. I did that. You can too. This has a value of $4,997. In the magazine template library, there's an ever-growing library of magazine templates. So we're adding new ones each month. And all you have to do is copy and paste. This goes back for the more than a decade of experience that Susie Black had in creating these offline and online publications. Here's a biggie. Sample legal contracts that you're going to have with advertisers and contributors. You don't want to get embroiled in litigation. I mean, if there are people that are in the US or Canada on this call, which you identified earlier, Barbara, we know about lawyers.
Yes. Right,
oh
absolutely.
My God. They're expensive. They cost a lot. So just having this without having to get legal advice from someone saves you a bundle and a lot of hassle. And you get up and running in minutes. This has a value easily of just the legal contracts alone would cost you more than $3,000 with an attorney, if they even knew this business. So it's all there. Magazine creation simplified. You supply the graphics, and we'll create the app design for you. This is an added piece that we're offering to your listeners who take action today, those that ride the wave. Your app is uploaded to the App Store. This can get somewhat challenging. Susie did it for me, and it was done seamlessly, quickly, and I showed you the results. To try to get through the whole Apple Store can be cumbersome, especially if you're technically challenged like I am. So it was very simple. She did it for me. That has a value of $24.97. Here's the toolbox that was put together for the Magazine Training Academy. Our complete toolbox to make your magazine a success. You have content creation resources. We mentioned a couple. I mean, you identified an additional one. We've got easy articles, there's Go articles, and the list goes on and on. If you want higher-end articles to draw from, those resources are revealed there as well. Everything you can answer. I think there are over 100 magazine article resources for you to draw from for content creation and curation. That has a value of $197. So the magazine resource list, hot resource list, which has been compiled over the years of doing this, magazine making cheat sheet, so you get the very simple step-by-step. I like to have the summary pieces. I'm a Cliff Notes guy, and that's available to you. That has a value of $497. So the other piece is I like to be involved with masterminds, with people that are like-minded. There's a members-only forum. So if you have questions, concerns, you have tips, tactics that are working for you, share those with the other forum members. Do you belong to a mastermind? You have to ask yourself, well, you've got one made available to you inside the system. If you're the action taker, the one that looks at opportunities and wants to share your success with others, the forum is suited for you. And you get to ask your most pressing questions. Susie moderates this personally. And you get to post about your magazine and skills, and you can share content with each other if you're in related niches? Wouldn't you possibly like to get more downloads to your magazine writing about a post? If you're an ADD specialist, for example, and someone else has the laughing coaching, is that what you mentioned, Barbara? You know, there might be people that have laughing and ADD issues, and there's some cross-pollination available.
That's
there.
right.
So that's the beauty of the forum. You get to cross-promote your business, I mentioned. This has a value of $1,000. So the advertiser grabber. Now, what did we do here? This is how we were able to monetize magazines quickly and easily, is the proven swipe copy to contact advertisers. Do you want to have to create the emails, the scripts to contact them? No. Why not use something that's already worked timelessly, endlessly, and has been monetizing for other magazines? Just cut and paste, copy and paste. So we follow our exact system, so you can grab advertisers. We'll show you that in video and through the Advertiser Grabber program, and you get all the resources and templates. So all you need to do is step by step. Again, I am a color by numbers guy. It has a value of $1,997. So you get 8 weeks of coaching from Susie with this. So coaches need coaching, right, Barbara? So you get 8 weeks of group coaching calls, which are going to take you through the system as you progress and create your magazine and your magazines if you choose to. There's an open Q&A on these calls that Susie moderates. Hand-holding. It was just like she did for me to make sure I was successful. My magazine, she'll do it for you. This has a value of $2,997. So what is the Magazine Profit Machine? You've got the Magazine Training Academy, the template library, the app tech components. This is where we create the app and all the components with it. The total toolbox list, the resource list that Susie has compiled, the Magazine Makers Forum, which you get to interact with all of your fellow publishers because you're now a publisher. Can you see that? Can you visualize this? See how this is going to be a financial solution for you? The advertiser grabber method, so the cut and paste advertising techniques, how to get advertisers interested in what you're doing. Really simple. I follow this. 8 weeks of coaching calls, so this is a big bonus. Susie's going to answer all your questions live, and you get to interact with people. This has a total value of $17,176. So what we're going to do, Barbara, is we're going to request that people go through a screening to see if this is the best program for them. And the whole price is $1,997 for all the training, all the coaching, all the tools, all the resources that are available in the system. And it's $1,997. And apply today. If you're accepted, we're going to accept your $1,997. If you're not accepted, we'll refund it to you. Is that fair or is that fair? And just click on the link at the bottom down here. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't make sense, you don't do it. And here's another huge bonus. You think, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work. So this makes it very simple and easy for you to use. Anyone can now be successful if they had any doubts. There are no doubts now. We will give you 40 hours of a virtual assistant to help you through the process. If you don't want to do anything, you don't want to find the articles, hand it off to your VA that we're giving to you for free. That has an $800 value. This is the additional bonus on top of it. Think you can use this person any way you choose. We recommend to help get your magazine lifted and do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, but it's up to you. If you want them to make calls for your existing clients that you're using for coaching, how about use it? It's your choice. It's there for you for free. 40 hours of a virtual assistant. That in itself is incredibly valuable. That's a big bonus. Here's the other. And I can only do this for the first 6 that jump on because this takes time. And I was a radio show host. You can tell I have a little bit of an ability to talk on CBS in Los Angeles with an average of 40,000 viewers every Saturday afternoon. I know how to interview people and extract the gems that this person may possess. And we will record a 10 to 15 minute presentation that you can post on your website. You can put it on an audio CD. You can also use it as a piece inside your first magazine of how you were interviewed from the publisher. Judy Jones was interviewed by Mitch Carson, former syndicated radio show host from CBS. This is valuable. I couldn't even place a price on this, because how are you going to get this kind of talent to interview you so you then become an expert? The value that I'm going to create for you is identifying your specialty. We're going to go through, we're going to have a talk in advance. A form is filled out. We're then going to create this so you have, and you can use this, by the way, to get other interviews on other radio shows. Just use my name. It's leverageable. We got to do this for you too, Barbara, by the way. Just dawned on me. Yeah, I mean, this will get you free exposure, because radio shows are looking for content providers all the time, but they don't want to take somebody they don't know. They want to take somebody that's already had experience. Well, I'm giving you that experience on a silver platter. So jump on this. You got to get in on this. I mean, it's right there for you, laid out, between the VA of $800 as added bonuses and the interview with me to launch your magazine, to launch your career, to augment your career, to up your career as the authority in your niche. You were interviewed by a radio show host, a syndicated radio show host. That has huge value. I mean, I'm not trying to bump my or pound my chest, but it's true. When I started out, I would have jumped on this opportunity if I knew someone that had this kind of experience. And here's another bonus. We're putting on a live event in the U.S., a 2-day event for all the people from all the different publishers for networking. Content ideas are going to be dispensed. Of course, Barbara, you're going to be there. And
oh, great. I'm like trying to say, where are you doing it? Because I want to be there.
Yeah, well, it's going to be in the U.S., and we'll announce the date in the coming months, and it'll certainly be convenient for everybody, and it'll be recorded if you can't attend for some reason. But you get to come to this, and this has a value. We're going to sell this for people that want to come, because it's going to be a content distribution, not a pitch fest. Content for our magazine publishers, very exclusive for publishers to come to this. Magazine publishers, people that are authorities and have earned that spot. You know, you have to ask, how many of you deserve to be the #1 person in your niche? That's who we want to come to this event. The winners like us, to rub elbows with, because success breeds success. I mean, you're coaches, so you all know that. So the other is we're going to create the personal app icon and splash screens designed for you, like what Susie did for Animal Sanctuary Magazine. She's going to do that for you. That's an additional bonus. So become a publisher. Create your own cash cow. You cannot have my cow. He's mine. Those are my Cougarans coming. But there it is. So again, all of these elements combined, thank you for that laughter. I was waiting on delayed pause. The Magazine Academy Profit Machine has a value, including my interview, of over $20,967. So I'm going to open up and be perfectly transparent. I had never done it. I was a little bit concerned because I'd never done it, and I thought, wow, a magazine? You got to be kidding. Susie held my hand through the whole process, and I got it up. You know, and then all of a sudden the download started. I mean, all I did was follow what she showed me to do, and it was, I didn't even go through all the videos. I went through the snippets, and I used the cheat sheet and followed that. Okay, true confession here. I used that. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling the truth. Followed the cheat sheet, did it, and look at the success I had. And now I did this as a case study, and it was something of passion, and the result was fantastic.
Absolutely.
I've got
Absolutely
people
fantastic.
I wanted to get to 20,000 to then solicit, so I had some real numbers and some proof that it was growing over time, which I've done, and I've got all sorts of people I've got to get back to over this next week that want to advertise and take full page ads at $3,000 a pop. Now I've got over 23,000 from iTunes, and I've got a little over 3,000 on Google Play.
That's
So
great.
between the two, I'm over 25,000 subscribers to the magazine right now.
So let me ask you a question, if I can, Mitch, because
Sure.
we have a question from Bill. He's asking if there's any other discounts tonight.
Any other discounts? What?
Yeah, I'm thinking, 1997 is a heck of a good deal. And then, so yes or no?
The answer is this is our price, and there's the payment option that's available. It's $19.97. Yeah, and he needs to understand if he's got to be accepted first. So
That's right.
I think
so there's no money due tonight. There's no money due tonight or tomorrow. The money is due once there's been an appointment made, and there's like a clearing and a I guess acceptance that they're in alignment. They've got a great niche. It looks like it'll be successful. Okay, we can move forward, right?
Yeah, in our call, we will do a keyword analysis based on the niche that they have selected, and you'll find out very quickly whether or not this makes sense. And that's part of it. It may not be a viable niche, and I will tell you. Because all we want are people that are...
So can you clarify what the application process is so nobody gets worried about, oh...
Well, I'm going to bring in Susie, who has been sort of silent on the call at this point, because it goes through, she's the one that's going to be receiving the applications initially. So they've, once they're accepted, they're going to invest in the program, but they've got to fill out the application.
Yep, that's right. So everyone, if you just fill out your application form today, and then we will review your application form and just check that your ideas are ones that are going to make you money, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you are going to be successful with your magazine. So fill out the application form. If we need to schedule a little call with you just to chat about your ideas, we will do that, and then make sure that you're on track, and then get you up and running with the program.
Is that answered well, Barbara?
All right, that's excellent. So, well, I just asked. So the vetting process is really based on the idea that they have, that it's something that you believe they'll make money with, and that's that's part of the acceptance process. If you believe that that person has an idea that is going to be profitable for everyone, then boom, he's in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because if they're going to jump into a category that doesn't have any commercial value, I'm going to advise against it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not interested in. We want success stories. We want to make sure that all of your followers,
that's right,
are happy. I mean, that's the whole point of this, Barbara.
Exactly. That's right. We want to make sure everybody's happy and everybody makes some money. So, another question, Mitch: how much time do you devote? Now you're coming up with your third issue, right?
Okay.
How much time has it taken you to devote? I'm sure there's going to be a startup curve of time, right? But you're in your third month, so you kind of should be beyond most of that. How much time do you think that you've devoted or committed to getting your magazine, your third issue, out?
It'll probably be, now I use, full confession, a virtual assistant that helps me because I took the opportunity to have somebody help me. But the amount of time that's dedicated between her hours and my hours are about 10 hours a month.
That's great. That's really, really great. So if you were serious about just being a publisher, you could start, I don't know, 5 or 10 magazines in different niches and be a conglomerate.
That's certainly possible, and I've thought about it because but it's not what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I've been a spokesperson for many, many years, and this is where my talent lies. And I might put out a publication in that arena at some point in the future. but I'm not going to put out because ADD is a very profitable niche. I've already identified it. And some of the others that we looked at in the coaching category, and we'll flesh that out with people that jump on board with us today.
Yeah.
The idea of then going into ADD coaching because it's valuable, I'm not passionate about it. I wouldn't do it.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. I like that you are looking at it as something that you need to be passionate about what you're doing. That's really great because if you're not, it's kind of it becomes a chore instead of a love.
Exactly. And I love exotic animals. Every time I travel to a new country, I find the zoos, and it's just something. I wish I were a zookeeper in a past life. Yeah, and that's why I have the magazine I have. It's not the most commercially viable out there. It was enough, but it was the minimum criteria that we were looking for. It just cut the mustard.
Yeah.
That's why I'm only able to charge $3,000 a page with what I'm doing for advertising. If it had the ADD numbers of 4.5 times what I'm getting, wow, think of the money. But I don't have that interest. It's for people who are passionate about their coaching category. It really should be limited to people that have passion with their category.
Yeah.
And I might be taking money out of my mouth saying that, but it's true to my heart, and that's what I feel. And I think you'll respect me more, and I respect myself when I tell the truth.
Right.
You don't love what you do, don't do it.
I agree. I've been saying
Don't do it. Life's too short.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you you articulated that extremely well. If you pick a category or do something that you're not passionate about, it becomes a chore versus a love.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot of things. There's a lot of food for thought here, and I hope a lot of people are filling out that application so that you can find out if your idea is marketable or not. And sure have enjoyed spending time with you again, Mitch. It's been fun with
Thank you.
Yes, and fun to hear Susie's voice again. She's the shy type, I can tell, because she's, it's like 2 sentences and she's out of there. But
she's very quick.
Oh gosh. So yeah, really good stuff. So I don't see any. I'm going to give you a chance, a couple of minutes here to ask any questions. If you have anything that's unanswered and you need to ask a question, go ahead and pop it in the question box. In the meantime, I'm going to say what a great joy it's been, and I want to thank Sylvia for joining us from the Philippines. And Sylvia is one of my master coaches. She trains in the Philippines. Yes, she's just a beautiful person, and I'm sure that's true of everybody else that's here. So I want to say thank you for joining us. It's been an honor and a privilege. We do have one question that says, how complicated will it be technically to get started?
Not at all, and that's the beauty. I mean, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I am not a technical person. Just to give you, I'm 52 years old, so I came after the technology boom. I've learned all this on the fly. It was not something that was difficult at all. If it had been, I would have shut it off. I just short circuit, but it wasn't. It was step by step, easy, and I followed the cheat sheet. I love cheat sheets.
That's right. You
Even
didn't
in
go
college, I used Cliff Notes. It was my Cliff Notes version that Susie put together for people like me that aren't technical and don't have. I mean, it isn't even technical. This isn't programming. It's very simple, and we tested it. And again, that fantastic question. We tested this in 4 different countries with different people with different backgrounds to make sure the trainings were understandable.
That's awesome.
And everybody got it. Not at first. The truth is we had to tweak some things to make it understandable for everybody. There were a couple areas that went a little fast. We identified them, improved them, and now it is very simple and easy to follow.
So the question from Bill is, will there be another investment to be made after the initial 1997?
The answer is, if you choose to have your own virtual assistant after, instead of you doing the, investing the time in and creating this, there could be that. There is a hosting charge. Yeah, there is a hosting charge. Hello?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was saying, so after the initial 40 hours, right? Because we get 40 hours free.
Right. And if they choose to hire, this is just a bonus that was thrown in by one of our suppliers that they're offering that. Of course, they're looking for back-end business on it if you choose to go with them or not. Or maybe they accomplish it for you and you choose to do this on your own, investing, let's say, the 10 hours a month that it takes to create a new issue. There are, and I'm going to let Susie explain those charges that iTunes imposes and the hosting of the magazine.
So with regards to iTunes, if you decide that you want to publish your magazine under your own iTunes developer account, which you can choose to do or you can choose not to do, there is a $99 annual fee with iTunes and a $25 annual fee with Google Play. Now, on top of that, there is a magazine hosting fee, which just covers the downloads of your magazine each month on each of those platforms. So that's variable depending on what you're going to choose. So that really is the costs when it comes to the monthly running of your magazine. But again, if you're using your advertising method, you can have that covered by advertisers before you even have to worry about that.
Exactly. You pre-sell this, you don't incur any additional costs.
That's right. That's right.
You walk into this profitably, and that's what I did.
That's great. That's great. So pre-selling, so letting people know you got an inaugural issue out of your magazine, and they can place an ad in your first release, and because it's the first release, you're going to give them a deal. Then you'll probably have the whole thing paid for before you publish.
Well, that's what Alex Mendozian has done with his magazine. He's got all these partners that are ponying up to get the right to be in the first issue.
I'd love that. Love that.
Well, when he's going to market this and push it, he's got the audience.
Yeah.
And it'd be no different than someone like you who's got a big following of people that are in your network, or somebody else that's got a big following of people. You leverage that. It's just the metaphor I used of the guy that had the car in high school. We all pitched in and covered his gas. He drove us there. He had to go to school anyway. But we covered his gas and then somebody charged us, I don't know what it was, a week. We covered his gas.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting. You're getting your costs covered here, and you get to be the publisher. And you make money with it on top of it. It's a very smart decision to do this. I made the decision, and I don't regret it. I've got tremendous success in just less than 3 months. You can do this if you follow the system, or I wouldn't be on this call.
All right. Well, let's see. Bill is already filling out his application.
Okay.
He's asking if there's a product assembly app. Oh, wait a minute. Is it essentially an app? The magazine.
I can respond to that one. So the product is you're buying the training course where we walk you through how to produce your magazine from start to finish. So we talk through every single part and every single element of the magazine. Then, so we talk about where you can gather your content, different ideas for that kind of thing. Then we talk about how you can add your interactive elements into your magazine, such as videos, audios, hyperlinks. And then we also have video training sessions about how to market your magazine. So what the magazine is hosted via an app, and your magazine lives within the app. So the product itself is the training course that we're providing you, and then we'll build the app on your behalf.
Excellent, excellent. So the app is included. It is an app, and it is included in your...
And that's what Susie custom designs.
Okay. Beautiful. That's excellent. That is really excellent. Okay, so let's see. I don't think there are any other questions. How many people are you going to, how many are you going to do an interview for, Mitch? The first 5? was it?
6.
The first 6. All right, so the first 6 get that interview, and that can go in their magazine, in the inaugural magazine, and be a great way to kick off the magazine.
Well, and on their website, they can upload this onto YouTube, onto iTunes. I mean, this is valuable, and you know, I've got lots of media experience and accolades and exposure, and they can leverage this. And here's, all right, I'm going to throw in an additional bonus. Anybody that jumps on this today and is approved and does the interview, I will take their interview and throw it on my personal site, MitchCarson.com.
Wow, nice. Really nice. All right.
Yeah, and on my Facebook fan page.
Wow.
I'll throw that in as well.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so they get additional exposure for free.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions, so I think we're about out of material.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we covered it pretty well.
I think we did. I mean, we got to brainstorm a little bit of different ways people could make money from it, and I just don't see any reason why not to get moving and have your own magazine, and you know, in a matter of a month following the scripts, marketing to people to get their ads. It's just makes a whole lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. You know? Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Okay,
Always a
it
pleasure.
was wonderful. Yeah, it was wonderful, and wonderful again to hear Susie's voice for a couple of minutes there, and a delight to have you, and I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you all, and look forward to seeing you real soon.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, good night, everyone. Bye.